Okay, welcome back. Solo roll Mangging, Tales of Argosa, Lost City of Barakus. We actually got to the Lost City last time. Wasn't that amazing? And we were in there for like 2 minutes, and then we almost died and we had to leave. So that that sounds about right. I mean that seems like something we could have predicted. But we are all fighting fit, ready to continue on. We even have a new companion, Bert, who's well, he exists. I can't deny that. I guess I could have bought him plate armor. Why didn't I buy him plate armor, actually? He can wear it. Why would I not shell out the cash? Alright, we'll buy him plate armor. So I think I spent 30 on the scale, so we'll just spend another 30 to get the plate. Fine. I know, like, he's not gonna get targeted, but you never know. He could. He could get targeted by something. And if one of our characters died, we'd be happy that he has plate. Yeah. Okay. He's set. We're ready to go. We bought him a horse and everything as well. So we're all good to go. And like I said, I think we're going to try doing this Quarian's Tower just on our way out, you know. Maybe pick up some extra loot. Maybe enough loot to level up. You don't know. Except now we have to give a half share to this asshole. So if we look at our map, Q is going to be, or no, V is going to be over here. So we're going to have to go across the farmland. Depends on how thick this river is, as they say. If we can ford it, or if we have to go all the way around. If we can ford it, then the fastest path is certainly 1, 2, 3-ish. I don't know. We have no idea about the nature of the river, but it looks pretty thin there. I mean, it's certainly the thinnest spot it's going to get. But I don't know. I don't know enough about rivers or horses or fording or a mule. Well, yeah, because once we go off-road, we don't get our 50% bonus speed. So that would be 1, 2, and then off-road we can cross... Let's see, we have 30 miles per day. It's a little tricky to calculate then. Travel 10 miles in how fast? ...45 miles. We can travel 45 miles in 8 hours. So we're 5.6 miles per hour. Okay. So it's a little under 2 hours to get to this point. Let's just say 2 hours to make it simple. If we want to go around, then we travel at 3.7 miles per hour. Okay. So that gets us to, like, I don't know, here-ish. And then maybe to, like, here-ish. And then, sure, we'll say, to make it simple. So 5 hours if we go around. Which means almost certainly we're going to have to camp out there. I don't know if that changes, though, if we try to ford the river. Maybe here, so 4 hours to get there, 4 hours back. Yeah, that would change things. How do I adjudicate if we can ford a river on a map that I don't know and I don't have details for? It's mostly about depth, right? it's a branch off the main river, so I wouldn't imagine it's very fast. So I think it's mostly about depth, and I can't imagine it's that deep. So I would surmise that they can ford it. I don't really know. Yeah. I mean, it's not like crossing like here or something. Like this is just a little river. I'm allowing it. So 4 hours to get there, 4 hours back. Let's roll our random encounter. We're going to be in farmland, so we get a nice bonus. It's going to be minus 15 on this roll. Ooh, well, we need it. We rolled an 81. That's going to be 1d4 orcs. 2 orcs. Well, they're not going to just attack us, because that would be suicide, so let's see what they're up to. 59. They're panicking a group of satyrs with a well-timed ambush. In the middle of the farmland seems unlikely. I could change that to farmers, though. Raiding a nearby farmstead for livestock. There we go. That's the one that makes most sense. So we're passing by a farmstead. Now if I do a group perception check to even notice, then if everyone fails, we just pass by and it wasn't like there's even encounters. So I think for the sake of, like most times, you want to have, there should be a reason why you rolled a random encounter, right? So yeah, we don't want to just ignore it completely and say, yeah, okay, you missed it. So we see this. It's the middle of the day, so it's pretty bold of these 2 orcs. Maybe they're not the brightest bulbs, or maybe they're desperate. One of the two. Either way, they're dangerous. Okay, so they're just like... We're passing by and we suddenly 2 orcs walking out of a chicken coop with, like, chickens under their arms. Well, I mean, we slaughtered that 1 orc in the cave with his 2 dogs, so I don't think we're too scrupulous about butchering orcs, especially if they're just openly stealing. Now, it could be that these are the owners of the farm. So we're not going to charge them down just yet. We're going to just approach on horseback and see what they do. If they start running, it's death time. What are they going to do? I guess let's get a reaction roll. 9 is on the upper end. So they're friendlier towards us. Sort of. Indifferent or uninterested. Okay. So they're just gonna pretend that business is as usual, and they're just, you know, barely even look at us and just start walking off with the chicken. Hoping that we'll just be like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine. Yeah, see, I mean, I guess we'll leave it to the Oracle. Are we gonna just butcher these orcs because we suspect them of being thieves? I'm gonna make this pretty likely. Oh, yeah. Alright, the swords come out. They start running. Chickens are squawking. Tarthona's gonna charge in with her swords. So charge on horseback. 3. Crit. Yep, head is gone. We'll let Porridge charge the other one. Yep, dead. Okay. And then we return the chickens. And yeah, I mean, we'll leave these orc bodies for the owner, the farm, you know, the farmer to deal with. I don't know, man. Turn it into fertilizer. That's not my problem. I just saved your chickens. That's what I'm about. All right, moving on. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this encounter list. I gotta be honest. I really probably should just roll the axe encounters. Just because... I mean, I guess we'd be Borderlands, so there's like a 10% chance of a monster encounter. That feels about more right, you know? Like, there should just be a lot of nothing happening every day. Especially in the farmland. I'd almost lean towards civilized. Because this is just farmland. It can't be it cannot be that dangerous. There would be no farmers. So it can't be that dangerous. So I'd probably lean towards civilized for this section specifically. This section of farmland here on the map. But alright, we arrive at V. Around noonish. Alright, we get backstory, lore, blah, blah, blah. 80-foot tall, 60-foot square tower made of white stone faced with decaying red marble, which is in turn overgrown with green ivy. The ivy tendrils reach up the outside of the tower as much as 40 feet up, giving the whole thing a strange mix of red, white, and green color. It almost looks as though the ivy is some monster hungrily engulfing the stone. Alright, so again, we're here because of Jimmy Dean. We're just hand-waving that we met him at some point on our back and forth. And, you know, we didn't really have anything good to offer him, but perhaps he and Nathun talked shop for a while or something. So we're not on super friendly terms or anything with him, but he has asked us to retrieve these books. So there's books, notes, and gear from the Goblin Tower in Area 5. He wants to obtain the recipes from that location. He was once an apprentice of the mage Quarren that used to inhabit it. Right. So that's basically all he told us. I mean, maybe he mentioned there was goblins, or maybe he just said, yeah, my old master's tower down there. If you can just head down. So maybe we don't know anything. The main entrance consists of a large iron-bound door about 10 feet up a set of stairs on the north side of the structure. Obvious marks of a battering ram or some other breach attempt scar its oak surface. The door is locked from the inside but has no bar across it. 9 arrow slits dot the sides of the tower with one set on each compass direction at the 20, 40, and 60 marks. The top of the tower consists of a spire-like point and has no windows or parapets or other means of entry. The tower walls are 8 feet thick, solidly intact, and provide no means of egress. Living inside the tower is a small tribe of goblins. These are no normal goblins, however, as one of their members can read and is a shaman skilled in the arts of alchemy. Her natural talent, combined with finding a relatively intact alchemist laboratory here, have allowed the goblins to become extremely well armed with semi-magical toys and brews. Great. Should the goblins spot anyone outside the tower, 40% chance by day, 90% chance by night, before they enter the tower, they pepper potential intruders with arrows and oil from the arrow slits in an attempt to make them leave. If the tower is entered, the wolves immediately raise the alarm. At this point, the goblins gather at the top of the second floor stairwell and prepare missiles and grenade-like missiles for anyone coming up the stairs. One of the normal goblins runs to get Nyviv, the shaman, from the laboratory upstairs. The wolves and Nodnelg guard the top of the stairs while the others continue to use missile fire down the staircase. Should all become hopeless, the goblins light the stairs on fire with 10 oil flasks and escape out the arrow slits on ropes with grapnel hooks attached, using their smoke sticks and tanglefoot bags to delay attackers. In no case do the goblins retreat to the 4th level of the tower. They fear it more than death. Okay. Right. So they have smoke sticks, tanglefoot bags, and thunderstones. Smoke sticks, fill a 10-foot cube in 1 round with smoke. Smoke dissipates naturally after 1 minute. Tanglefoot bag. When thrown, if it strikes a creature with a range of 10 feet, the bag comes apart and goo bursts out, entangling the target and then becoming tough and resilient upon exposure to air. -2 penalty on attack rolls, -4 penalty to AC. Must make a save or be glued to the floor, unable to move. Okay. And the Thunderstone, you throw it as a missile weapon with a range of 20 feet. When it strikes a hard surface or is struck hard, it creates a deafening bang. Each creature with a 10-foot radius must make a save or be deafened for 1 hour. Deafened creature, 20% chance to miscast and lose any spells that it tries to cast. Okay, this is pretty nasty stuff. We may be fleeing this place, but we'll give it a shot. If Jimmy Dean, that old scoundrel, didn't tell us about any goblins or anything inside the tower, then we would assume, I mean, cautiously, that we're just gonna go up and investigate the door. So there's a 40% chance they spot us right now. They do not. I don't know if that's good or bad, really. I mean, if they spot us immediately and just started peppering us with arrows, we could just flee right away. But now we're gonna get caught in the mix of it. So the door is locked from the inside, but it has no bar across it. So we can pick the lock. And we don't hear anything, I don't think. So, yeah, she's just going to roll traps and locks. Success. So she picks it eventually. And the door slides open. Now it says if the towers enter, the wolves immediately raise the alarm. That seems a little harsh, perhaps? May I say harsh? Just, no matter what, if you enter the tower, wolves know and you're dead. So we'll be a little nice and go with a group stealth check. Again, we're not including hirelings in this or anything like that. They are separate, so it is what it is. Stealth. Success. Dex, -2. Success. Okay, we got it, baby. Awesome. All right. So we do enter quietly enough, or perhaps the wolves are just sleeping or something, preoccupied, and they don't immediately notice us. So we enter into a storage area. And we see racks, crates, and buckets holding food. 310 man days of edible rations on racks. So about 44 weeks worth of food for a person. Divided by the 4 of us, 11 weeks for each of us. That's a lot of food. I assume this is going to be standard rations, not iron rations. Which is why it takes up a lot of space. Yeah, I mean, 44 weeks times 3 is 132 slots worth of food. Just food. 6 large barrels of water, 3 casks of wine, a crate of 10 oil flasks, 60 torches, 200 feet of rope, 2 hungry mules tied up in makeshift stalls, a lantern, 10 spears, 80 arrows, a longbow without a string, and a light mace, 200 pounds of coal, 3 cords of firewood, an axe, and a splitting maul. Okay, so this is a lot of supplies. This is like supplies for an army almost, or a small army. So that probably concerns us quite a bit. Okay. We rolled stealth and we rolled successfully. So we are in the first level. If we don't make any single sound right now, we're all good. No one knows we're here. What we want to now know is if we know anyone else is here. And they are, I mean, there's 7 goblins, 2 wolves, a shaman, and their leader. All on the second level, the living quarters. I don't think it's unreasonable to allow a perception check here. I'm not going to assign an opposing check here. We're just going to see if we can hear or not. Success. Great success. Okay, we're off to a very good start today. Yes, we do. Not hard to hear. There is a lot of little shuffling footsteps. We hear, you know, chatter. Because, you know, they're not going to be quiet. Why would they be quiet? You know, what do they care? They're not going to whisper. This is their tower. So, yeah, we hear a lot of chatter. We don't speak any language that would apply here. But I could see someone trying to roll like a general lore if they just recognize it or something. So we'll give him a chance. He does, yes. He knows it immediately as goblin. They sound like goblins. Okay, so we have a pack of goblins up on the second floor above us. Hard to tell how many, but based on the supplies here, it could be a pretty big amount. Plans. Well, I do have slumber now as an option, which is potentially very good. We'd have to sneak up to the second floor, though. Let's see. It's so it's an 80-foot tall tower containing 4 levels. I'm not quite sure the division then of how tall this staircase is, but let's say, I don't know, 17 feet staircase or something like that if it's an equal division. Which means I can't send really one person up and support them in any way without there being trouble. Ideally, Nathun would just sneak up on his own and put them all to sleep. I think Tarthona could go with him pretty easily in case something goes wrong, but Porridge is not taking a step on that staircase until everything's sleeping or things have hit the fan. I don't really see a plan otherwise. The only alternative is the arrow slits. If we could climb up the side of the tower without them noticing, and these are 8-foot thick stone walls, so it'd be tough for them to notice, but I'd probably do another one of those 40% rolls. We could climb up there, look in through the arrow slit, he casts slumber, puts them all to sleep, call it a day. But the problem with that is if I don't get every last one of them, which I probably wouldn't, then they can just wake them all back up by the time we want to kill them all. So it's not really a good plan. Neither is what I'm doing. Basically, if he doesn't get this stealth check and doesn't get the slumber off, we're running. I mean, we're bolting down the stairs and out the door. So make sure that door is wide open. All right. So we're going to do Tarthona and Nathun group stealth check. So if she gets a great success, he can still fail, and it's not that big of a deal. She failed. Well, that's not acceptable. There we go. Great success. So he can still fail, but if he gets a terrible failure, we're fucked. He did get a terrible failure. We'll re-roll. Got it. All right. We sneak up. Miraculously. Probably should be opposed by the wolves at this point. To be honest. She succeeded by 13, and he succeeded by 5. Okay. That's pretty good. I don't know if I'd bother. I mean, I could roll, but then it's just like, okay, the wolves got a 1, you're fucked. Be a fan of the players and stuff like that. Although I don't know if that applies ever in the OSR. But let's say that we sneak up. This is really unlikely, but we sneak up just enough to get our eyes, onto the second floor. We see 8 makeshift beds, a few chamber pots, blankets, and other such items, and a large brazier full of coals. There are 7 goblins, 2 wolves, and the leader here. The shaman is going to be on the 3rd floor pretty much all the time. So we can safe bet. Yeah. This is a big area. It's a 60-foot square tower, so I assume 60 feet by 60 feet. I don't know how clumped together they're going to be. Which makes me want to almost rethink the plan, because if I could clump them up at the top of the staircase, I could put them all to sleep. And then pretty much call it a day, but All right, so I have to then figure out how many goblins I'm going to be able to get in a 10-foot diameter sphere. Could instead go with Earth's excrescence, but I don't know if I can cast that not on the Earth. It says an area of Earth to burst forth. So, yeah, no go on that. No go on that. Can only be brought forth from an area of soil, sand, silt, clay, or uncut, unworked rock. Does not work on worked stone, wood, cement, concrete, metal, or magical materials. Specific limitation. This is tricky, man. It's got to be slumber, but like I said, I don't know. Maybe goblins tend to just be on top of it. They're not humans, right? Humans sort of value our independence more, and we keep maybe a bit more distance between each other. But maybe goblins are just sort of, all their beds are pushed together, and they're all kind of just a big pile. That wishful thinking. Fuck it. 1d4 plus 2. That's how many I can get. And that includes wolves and the leader. So there's like 10 possible targets here, so we'll never get all of them. It's gonna be messy. Okay, he gets 4 with slumber. Like, he's waiting a moment just to, like, maybe line up some more as they kind of shift around, but that's about the best he can do, so I really am iffy on this, but let's give it a shot. Great success. That helps quite a lot, because now we can make it a 15-foot diameter sphere. So I'm going to add another 2 on that. Because that bumps us up then to 6 of the targets. I'm not going to include the leader. Specifically. I will say 5 goblins and 1 wolf. Yes, the 5 goblins instantly drop asleep. Because they have 1 hit dice, or less than 1 hit dice, so they get nothing. They get no save or anything. The wolf does get a luck will save. I wouldn't expect it to be especially willful, so we'll give it... Yeah, I think it's like a 4 under, really. Alright, it fails. So 1 wolf down, 5 goblins down. That leaves 1 wolf, 2 goblins, and the leader. And we're going to immediately go into combat. Let's roll initiative. Excellent. Okay, yeah, nothing for it. Tarthona is going to charge the leader. The biggest, brutest goblin. He's apparently wearing plate mail and has a battle axe. He's got 18 AC and 22 hit points. This guy is fucking ripped. Okay, this could get messy, but that's what she's going to do. She's going to charge him. So that's going to be a 3. She rolled a miss, yeah, and then the offhand -1, very unlikely. Yeah, miss. That's bad. She'll go ahead and use spinning defense, even though it's really only for melee, but we may as well. Nathun. He could throw out another slumber to maybe grab the 2 other goblins. Or try to get the goblin leader. I mean, you know, he has 4 hit dice, so he is vulnerable to it, and that's probably the best bet. Alright, he's gonna try to sleep just the goblin leader. It's gonna work out exactly that way. Here we go. Success, but I forgot to add the +1, so it actually would be a great success. So I'm actually going to clip the wolf as well. So the wolf fails. Both wolves are asleep. The big guy will give a +1 to his will. And the luck roll for 4 hit dice is 7. So he has 8 or under. He does succeed. Damn it. It was worth a shot. At least we got the wolf on that one, though. Alright, and then Porridge is gonna run up the stairs, and he gets into the, fight. He gets up to Tarthona, I guess, but he doesn't do anything. The big guy is going to, I mean, he's in melee, so he doesn't have that many options of how to counter this. So he's just going to try to swing his battle axe at Tarthona. He gets +4. Yeah, +4. 18 is a hit, but she has spinning defense on, so disadvantage. Miss. And that's why I did it. Okay, that saved a lot of pain. So she easily deflects his battle axe with her sword spinning. There's 2 goblins left, right? One of them is going to run up the stairs towards Nyviv. Yeah, if he runs, he can make it. That is what it is. The other one is going to take out... Sure, we'll say he has a Thunderstone. And he's gonna throw it at the mage, because it deafens him. Yeah. So he's just gonna throw it at the wall next to Nathun. So he just has to roll against a 10 attack, or a 10 AC. He gets +0. He crit. Okay, so then he smacks Nathun in the face. Alright, I'm gonna give Nathun a -2 on his save. And this is gonna be Con. No, Dex. -2. This is technically a spell-like effect, so I could make it a proper roll. But they have a lot of these things, so usually that leans me towards no. Alright, he succeeded, so he kind of quickly dives and covers his ears, I guess. And he's not deafened. Okay, that's everybody. It's no new initiative. Failure. Big guy's swinging at Tarthona again, but she still has spinning defense up. Okay, he misses again. The other guy is now going to throw... I guess he has another Thunderstone, doesn't he? Yeah, he'll throw another Thunderstone at Nathun. He misses. He rolled a 9, needed a 10, so it goes a little too wide and doesn't... it's not loud enough. Excellent. The goblin upstairs is quickly yelling to the shaman that they're in trouble. And now it's our turn. We need a minor exploit here, I think. Nathun's gonna just try to shoot the guy throwing these little stones at him. Fumble. Well, the guy does have a short bow, so he'll counter. He also rolls it. Okay. Alright, then Tarthona stands the best odds of hitting. So she'll just roll. +1. That is a hit for 5 damage. Excellent. Yeah, he's down to 17, and she's gonna pocket sand. Dex. Fuck. Nothing I can do. Damn it. Alright, then she just rolls with the other one with -3. Basically, can't, unless she gets a crit. She didn't. Alright, Porridge is probably going to use Word of Command on the big guy. Although it's wasted if... It's not wasted, I guess. Alright, he's going to use Word of Command. Yeah, success. So now the guy gets a luck will. Again, he has, we'll say 8 or lower. Damn it, he succeeds. There's nothing I can do. What a waste. Alright, new initiative. Damn it. Big guy's gonna swing at, well, he keeps missing Tarthone. He's gonna swing at Porridge instead, who just tried to cast some sort of magic spell on him. It's 15. That's a miss. The other guy ran out of Thunderstones, so I guess he's just gonna shoot his short bow at Nathun. He misses. The other goblin comes running back down, followed by the shaman. The shaman has some stuff, right? Spells. Hold, portal, shield, sleep. Invisibility, web. Web could be pretty bad on our front line. And has 12 hit points. Damn it, this big guy is really slowing us up. Okay, it's our turn, though. Fuck it, Porter's gonna try Word of Command again. Success again. So 8 or under again. He fucking crits. God damn this guy. There's nothing I can do then. I can't re-roll it. I can't use advantage. It's nothing. It's just his luck. It's just his lucky day. Damn it, man. Alright, Tarthona again. She has no minor exploit. She'd have to burn a major, and she might. Alright. +1. Fumble. He counters. He misses. Her offhand basically can't hit. It did. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Yes, I've been fucking that up. I've been putting -1 because... Yes, I see. So that's not correct. I need to just put -4 because it's always going to be... Well, no, I need to put -3. Oh, that's what I did put. Yeah, because she gets +3. I put -3. That's correct. Yeah, she has +0 on the offhand. So she hit for 7 damage. Excellent. So he was at 17. He's at 10 now. She's going to do a major exploit. She can't do any more single target damage or kill him. But she could blind him. She could, like, slash his eye out or something like that. Or she could... I mean, we can dismember. I could cut off his hand so he can't use the battle axe or anything. Any of these are reasonable, good options. I could stun him. Not a choices. What's the most debilitating? Blind is not bad. I can blind him in one eye. I mean, I guess I could try to blind him in both eyes. That's a much harder check, though. I think blind in one eye is just going to be straight up dex. Luck dex. Blind both eyes, that's probably like a -4 or something. Which is possible. It would be damn good. We'd basically put him out of the fight. My one eye is just a 33% miss chance. Alright, go for broke. He's going to try to slash across his eyes to blind him. So, -4 on the dex. She needs a 9 or under. She got it. Excellent. So her offhand just whips out, slashes him across the eyes, and he is blinded. Good. Because we get now new initiative, I think, from Tarthona. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Nathun's gonna try to shoot the shaman that just showed up. Or he could throw military oil at it. No, he'll just try to shoot. 6 points of damage. That's definitely a hit. Yeah, only 10 AC, so boom. Very solid. Half health. She's not going to be happy about that. Tarthona is going to attack the big guy now. Or should we just ditch him? Alright, he's blinded. We can finish him off last. Porridge is going to charge the goblin that's been shooting its bow at Nathun. So he's going to charge. I don't think that's enough. Ombre. They have 12 AC. You're off by 1. And I didn't use advantage. Great. Tarthona, however, is going to charge up the staircase. She can't get to the shaman. She gets to the little guy in front of her. But she's going to slash him out. Miss. Offhand. Miss. That's not good. Okay, so the big guy is like flailing around with his axe. Blood pouring from his eyes. The goblins have short swords. So one of them's going to try to stab Porridge. Miss. One of them's going to try to stab Tarthona. Miss. And then the shaman. The shaman is injured, so probably maybe a will check. Alright, we'll put her will decently high, though, at like 12. But looking over the scene, it's like not looking good for her. 13. Okay, she's determined to stick around and end this. So she could cast Invisible, but it says if drawn in combat, she leads with a sleep spell. Oh, it says if the second floor is breached, she turns invisible and levitates down from the arrow slit. Okay. Yeah. So she came in here to kind of help the goblins finish us off, and then she caught a crossbow bolt in the arm and the shoulder. So now she's gonna say fuck this. So she needs to cast invisible. We'll put her int at 14. She crits. So she goes invisible, and we see it. And, yeah, you know, we hear stairs creaking. So she runs back upstairs. And that's it. So now it's Porridge's initiative. Okay, excellent. Tarthona's gonna slash at this guy. That is very much kill. And she's gonna race upstairs after this shaman. Porridge is gonna hit this guy in front of him. Dead. And Nathun's gonna just go around and start executing all the goblins sleeping on the floor. The big guy keeps flailing around with his axe. And we have a new initiative, but it doesn't really matter at this point. But it matters a little bit, but not too much. Tarthona now bursts onto the 3rd floor, which contains a large, rather messy alchemist laboratory. Various beakers, tables, tubes, and small burners lie messily arranged around the room, and strange bottles of various substances lie scattered about in no apparent order. The staircase to the 4th floor is blocked by a pile of books and a tipped bookcase. A series of strange smells as various experiments are currently in progress. Okay, so we were pretty much on her tail. She's invisible, but she's trying to grab her books. So we can sort of see where she's at. So Tarthona's gonna sort of charge towards where she sees like books being picked up and things like that. She has a flat 66% miss chance here. So she'll only hit on a 5 or a 6. Okay, so she can make her rolls, and it's 10 AC, so this is pretty good for us. That is a hit, and that's a kill. So she strikes very true. She picked her target, her spot very well. Swings the blade, and just blood paints the floor. And then this little goblin appears dead on the ground. Alright. Nathun is continuing to execute with his crossbow just into the neck. And Porridge is going to put an end to this blind goblin flailing around with his own flail. This is a little risky, because once he goes into melee, the guy does get a chance to hit. But we do get advantage, and I think he was at 10 hit points. So, we'll see. Alright, we hit him for 7, so we just sort of clobber his side of his head a bit. The big guy gets his miss chance. He misses. Porridge gets to swing again. He misses. Big guy. He does get a chance. +4 on Porridge. That's a miss. Porridge. Crit for 8, and I think that is the end of that. Just as Nathun finishes executing everything. Now, the only question mark... Well, there's probably a lot of question marks, but I guess one of the main ones is, would they have slept through the whole thing? It says attacking, damaging, or moving it doesn't awaken it, but normal... Or does awaken, but normal noise does not. So, no. Slumber is... It's a magical sleep. So, they are snoozing, and they are dead. For 20 minutes, they sleep. So, that's it. That was the fight. I mean, I don't think I really did anything impressive as far as like a creative plan or anything. I just got kind of lucky with the stealth. It would have been a lot different had we alerted them when we walked in, or we alerted them on the staircase, or I didn't get a great success on the slumber. Yeah, I mean, things could have gone a lot worse. Another DM probably would have been a lot harsher, maybe with the slumber distance. 10-foot diameter is not that big, and it's really entirely up to the DM to decide how close together they are or not. Like, you just gotta... That's part of DMing, man. You just gotta make a choice, and you don't want it to be too easy for players. You try to be as fair as possible, of just, like, logical, but it's... How would we know? How would we fucking know how goblins are clumped together in a room like this in their living quarters? I have no idea, and you don't have any idea, so any sort of logic there is just... spitballing. Okay, XP for kills. That's the first question. We did kill all these things. So that's 7 goblins, which are, I think, actually like less than a hit dice. Yeah, they're less than 1. So that's 35. The wolves were 2+, apparently. 2 + 2. According to... I mean, I guess I could look. We could just use Tales of Argosa. These were just common wolves, I think. Yeah, 2 + 2. So 35 plus 70. 105. The big boy was 4. Or was he 4+? He was 4. Okay. So, 105, 185. And then the shaman was technically a level 4 fighter, or a level 4 magic user. So, that's another 80. So 265 is what we got out of that one for kills. Okay. We're now going to thoroughly search the place, of course. Well, we already know what's on the first floor. All of the goblins have 2 smoke sticks. 3 of them have Tanglefoot bags, and 2 of them have Tanglefoot bags and 2 Thunderstones. Trying to figure out the magical value of all these little items is a little tricky. I don't know if Axe is going to give us stuff for just random little objects like that, or any sort of baseline that I could work off of. I mean, it would sort of be on the level of potions and stuff, I think, of just, like, consumable items. Yeah, it's really hard to say, so I guess I'd lean towards just 25 gold per for just being minor magical items of consumption. Or, you know, they get consumed upon use. That's probably the easiest way to just do it. Yeah, I don't know. I think so. So, we'll just do 25 each. One guy used up 2 Thunderstones, but the rest is all on the table. Right. So that's... And the big guy had 2 Thunderstones. So really, that's 4 Thunderstones we found. We're going to be taking another one of these mules. I mean, let's just put it that. We're going to take both of the mules. But we'll name another one Sandra. So 4 Thunderstones. 5 Tanglefoot bags. And 14 smoke sticks. And the big guy had a potion of extra healing. Excellent. Did the shaman have anything useful? Well, she had a poison dagger. Save at +2 or die. Is this a magic thing, or did she just code it or something? Like, huh. Yeah, we are also going to short rest, but I'll get to it. I don't know. Do we think there's a magic dagger? It just says she attacks with her dagger and it's deadly venom. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't think so, because that seems like a really powerful magic dagger. To just always, if you hit anything, they have to save or die. So I think it's just she coded it in venom. But that wears off, so I'm not even going to write it down. Which begs the question of when she did it, but I guess right before she came running downstairs. 2 more Tanglefoot bags from her, so that bumps our total up to 7. Dust of Blinding. To hit roll, required when thrown at an opponent's save or be blinded for 1d6 rounds. The ultimate pocket sand. Potion of Growth. Potion of Healing. And Potion of Levitation. Oh my god. Now all these are worth 25. So the whole... Everything I just wrote, we're just putting at 25 for each of it. So that's a lot. Actually, that's quite a lot. That's 25 plus 5. That's 30 times 25. 750 XP just for all the magic goodies we just picked up. Excellent. So that was just on bodies. He also has plate armor, but, you know, this is all stuff fit for goblins. There's a lot of flasks of oil, I suppose. The goblins keep a small chest of loot on this level. The box is trapped and kept locked, and Nodneg has the key around his neck on a leather thong. The trap consists of a flask of extremely flammable oil with a fire starter mechanism attached. Unless disarmed, the flask explodes for 2d6 damage, affecting all within 5 feet and activating 2 rounds after the chest is open. Okay. Well, let's do a short rest first, because that has to happen after combat. Jeez, she utterly failed. I don't want to give up a reroll for a flow, so she is what she is. She didn't take any damage. Actually, none of us took any damage. It was remarkable. He succeeded twice, so he can get back both of his spell casts. That's excellent. And Nathun. Yes, he'll get back a spell cast. Okay. Now, you may notice that I didn't use Bird at all. And that's because I completely forgot he existed. He probably could have helped a little bit, but maybe he also would have fucked stuff up. I don't know what he's really just there to get an extra attack roll every round. But alright, well, we didn't really need him. So, whoops. Alright, so Tarthona finds the key. And she's going to go over to the chest. I'm going to give her a perception roll. Well, I don't know. Am I saying that I just have a standing order to investigate any chests? I don't know. Do I inspect the chest? No. Okay, so she's just gonna pop it open. And the DM's like, as you lift the lid on the chest, you hear an ominous click. What do? And I say, I leap backwards. All right, I'm gonna give her a luck dex check. I mean, technically I should get +2, but it's always gonna be a +2 because you're always leaping backwards. Fuck it. She gets what she gets. All right, she dives out of the way immediately, and it says it explodes for 2d6 damage, activating 2 rounds after the chest is open. Okay, so she, like a delayed reaction where after she dives away, and she like looks up and like, what? And then okay. Well, she survived. So inside the chest, 440 silver, 112 gold, 84 copper, 2 small gems, one worth 20, one worth 80. A treasure map detailing the entrance to the Well of Rapana Thuk. Map indicates that ghosts and giant creatures of iron inhabit the dungeon. It also warns of giant cats with tentacles. The map is destroyed if the trap is triggered. Okay, well, that's gone. And a carved ivory tube containing a scroll of cure disease, which is also destroyed. Fuck. Alright, well, we get coins and the gems, I guess. So, garnet, 20 GP, and a barrel worth 80 GP. That's another 100, plus the gold, 212 GP, or 212 XP. I guess plus the 44 silver, why not? So that's, 56. Okay, and we'll throw the coins onto Sandra here. Excellent. Well, that's pretty good haul. Not enough to level up, though, but pretty close, to be honest. Oh, also, on the shaman... Oh, no. It's not on... She actually didn't carry it on her purpose. But on the 3rd level, the alchemy lab, besides the alchemy lab and its materials, which are worth 800 gold and weigh 400 pounds. So 400 pounds is 40 slots. We could load the other mule up with all the stuff, but he'd be encumbered and we'd be traveling at like 15 miles per day. So it would take a couple days to get home. Kind of worth it for 800 XP, though. Well, actually, I can't imagine all this shit weighs too much, to be honest. So this would be 1 slot, right? Whoops. The 7 bags are going to be 1.75 slots. Yes, I can type. The 14 smoke sticks. Annoying process here. But that's worth... That's 3.5 slots. It is adding up. These potions are going to be bundled together to be 1.25 slots. The garnet and the barrel is 0.5 slots. So that's 1.75 plus 1 for the coins. So 2.75. 2.75. So right now Sandra's got 9 slots taken up. So she can handle another 16, which means that together with the 3rd mule that we have down there, we can carry all the alchemy shit. The problem is there's a lot of other shit. There's 6 books on alchemy detailing the recipes for Tanglefoot bags, thunderstones, explosive oil, and smoke sticks. These books are worth 500 gold to a magic user or alchemist. 22 other books on various subjects worth 2d6 gold pieces each to the right buyer. There's a lost scroll of Dimension Door tucked into a regular book, and her spell book, which contains Hold Portal, Shield, Sleep, Detect Magic, Light, Read Languages, Read Magic, Invisibility, Web, Knock, Wizard Lock, and Dispel Magic. I don't know if there's a value that it puts on spellbooks for finding it or something like that. It's probably somewhere in here. But yeah, I would have no idea really. Could be anywhere. So I guess we'll just keep it as its own reward, really. Okay, the Scroll of Dimension Door is worth 150, and we're taking that, so grab that. The books. Books are gonna be kind of hefty, I think. Spell book takes up half a slot. So yeah, they're gonna be 0.5 each for our purposes. Which means that the 6 books are 3 slots worth of books. The 22 other books are 11 slots. So if we load all that shit onto Sandra, she's pretty much full. Close to it. So I guess we're going to do that. 6 alchemy books. Which is 3 slots. And that's worth 500 XP. And the 22 other books, which I need to just sort of discern a value right now, to be honest. That's 11 slots. That's 2d6 times 22. I think we'll just take the average and call it a day. I'm not that anal. So 7 times 22, 154. Okay, the spell book is big. It's going to take Nathun a long time to copy all those down. It's 1 day per level of the spell. And he can copy... He already knows sleep. And he already knows light. But that still leaves... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 days just for the level 1s. He can't use level 2s yet, but he can still copy it. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 days for the level 2s, and an extra 3 days for Dispel Magic. Yeah, that's a long time. That's like over 2 weeks. We're not really under any time pressure, I suppose. So we could just go back to town and chill for a while he copies everything. Alright, we certainly have enough to level up now. I'm pretty sure. No, we don't. We still need about 900 XP. Which wouldn't even be from carrying the alchemy lab and stuff. So, there is another level to the tower, so I guess we're gonna go up. Unlike the staircases from levels 1 to 3, the staircase up to the 4th level of the tower, despite being blocked by 22 large books and a bookcase, appears unused and untraveled. Cobwebs and insects, as well as a lot of dust, fill the stairs. At the top of the stairs is a trap door that opens upward. It is unlocked and untrapped, although it appears to be slightly burned and pitted. The door is spiked shut from underneath with a wooden stake. Okay. This is probably worrisome, all in all. But inquiring minds want to know. So we'll remove the stake and open the trapdoor. The room atop the stairs has a peaked roof and no windows or other exits. On the far wall is what was once a fine bed, but is now a musty, moldy pile of sheets and rags. The walls and floor near the trapdoor are scorched and pitted, and 3 partial goblin skeletons with crushed and blackened skulls litter the floor. Spiders and small insects crawl along the walls. In the center of the room is a pedestal of solid silver, worth 300 gold, containing a large tome. The book is crafted with gold and silver hinges, and appears to be made of something like dragon skin. Anyone approaching the book within 5 feet is in for a nasty surprise, one that the goblins discovered the hard way. The book is truly the spellbook of the magic user that used to live here, but is also a dragolem. When the book animates, it takes to the air like a folded paper dragon and attacks using its breath. So it has 35 hit points, 17 AC, 2 claw attacks at 1d4, a bite attack for 1d6. You have to use a +1 or better weapon to hit, so I don't know if that includes masterwork or not. It's a little vague. Well, no, it's not vague because that game doesn't have any masterwork stuff. So they almost certainly mean a magical weapon. Shit. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of warning signs here, right? There's a lot of warning signs. You know, you couldn't run this and the players would be like, well, we didn't know. We didn't know something bad was going to happen. It's like you have a sealed off stairway. You have a spiked trapdoor from this side. You have 3 goblin skeletons crushed and blackened on the floor around this pedestal in a very ominous looking room. Like, it's just not good. So I think all signs would point to us vacating. Now, I say that because I know that I probably, well, almost certainly would die. It would be a TPK. Even if I allow masterwork weapons, still only 2 characters can fight this thing, which is already really hard to hit, and it's immune to spells. So, yes, I mean, it could be a meta thing, but there's a lot of warning signs, so just for the sake of being interesting, I'll roll an oracle, but I think it's unlikely. Disadvantage. Do we go into the room? No, absolutely not. Alright, we'll close the trapdoor again, put the stake back on it, and head back down. Now, the problem is, I think... Isn't that what we were supposed to bring to Jimmy Dean? No, not necessarily. He wanted the alchemy books. Yeah. Because he's an alchemist. He wanted the alchemy books. Now, I could sell these just on the market for 500. I get the XP either way, so it's mostly just about the money. So it's really just like, do I want to make friends with Jimmy Dean, or do I want to just get 500 bucks? Well, It's a good question. I suppose I lean towards 500 bucks. Maybe it's just because his name's Jimmy Dean, but I really just don't like him. He can pick up the books and purchase them himself in town off of whoever I sell it to. So that means that we have one extra mule that we can load up with supplies from this first level. So what's the highest weight to value aspect here? The lantern's worth 10, I guess. It's probably going to be the food, right? Or the wine. 3 casks of wine is quite a bit. Depends how good it is. 1 pint. How many... Fuck. How many pints go in a cask of wine? Let's go to... When? How many pints can fit in a cask of wine? Tell me the answer. Uh... 176 pints. I can't imagine this is super good quality stuff because they're goblins, but I also don't know if they actually... I don't think they brought this stuff in, really, right? They wouldn't. No, because they're not even using spears. They're using short swords. So I'm not really sure where this all came from, to be honest. I think it probably came from Quarian, but I don't know why you'd have so many spears. Did it say how long ago? No, we have no real info. Well, I mean, everything else seems pretty orderly, and it doesn't say anything about the quality of these items, if they're, shitty or anything like so. I'm gonna go, we'll just go towards the middle end. We'll just say it's good wine. So it's 2 copper per pint. So that's 176 times 2 times 3. It's worth 1,000 copper, which is 10 gold. Probably not worth the trouble. It's the same as the lantern. Okay, so then the food. Assuming it's standard food, standard rations, which doesn't make any sense if it didn't come from the goblins. It would have already rotted, so maybe it's iron rations. Yeah, none of this stuff couldn't have come from the goblins. I refuse. I refuse to believe it. They wouldn't have wine, right? I don't think so. So I'm gonna say this is iron rations. It's been here for a while, but it's like MREs. They last a while. They're edible. So iron rations we say are, boy, we bumped that up to 3 gold per week. And I said 44 weeks of food here times 3. So that's 132 gold worth of rations. If I bring that back to town, that's 132 of recovered loot, like it counts. So fuck it, we're loading it up. That's 44 weeks though, which is a lot. That's 44 slots. No, I can't even bring that. Shit. I would need a cart. There's no cart. Damn it, I don't think I'm gonna level up off of this. No, I don't think so. Not without making a second trip. But it's probably worth it to make a second trip. Because really all I have to do is just roll, like... I probably should have rolled more random encounters, shouldn't I? I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, so, I should have Well, no. I mean, if we're following the rules for this module, we were just supposed to roll once every 6 hours. I was said that I wanted to switch over to axe encounter rolls, but we didn't do that yet, so technically I didn't have to roll more yet. But if I want to switch to axe, it's going to be once for every hex that I go through, which is not too bad, because like I mean, we're in farmland for almost all this. Yeah, we actually are in farmland for all this, so it's gonna just be civilized area. So it's gonna be just like 1, 2, 3 little rolls, or of which probably it's gonna be nothing but like pilgrims or merchants or something. So, okay, so we make the trip back to Enome, rest for the night, you know, dump off everything, blah blah blah. Then we come back here the next day. That's gonna be 3 more encounters rolls. Pick up all the alchemy equipment, a lot of like ration, wine, whatever. And then 3 more encounter rolls back. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. We should be leveled up. So, let's do that. So we're going to depart this place. We're going to roll our axe 3 rolls here. Again, this is going to be civilized. Actually, I mean, yeah, for 2 of the rolls, it's civilized road, which means no monster encounters. So, but this first one is just a normal one with civilized. So 17, that's going to be just a civilized encounter. We are in grassland, farm, prairie. So it's a D100. 15, just a herd of goats passing by. That's it. That's the encounter. The other 2 then, 1, 2, 9, 11. 9 and 11. Nothing. So we don't see anything. Okay, we arrive back there. We're going to hand wave this a little bit because I'm not too anal about it. Basically, I mean, yeah, we rent... I guess it's a question of, do I want to take the time for Nathun to copy more spells into his book? It really only matters, I guess, if these are things I'm going to cast. And Slumber is already pretty bee's knees, you know? Detect magic, read languages, read magic. Maybe. I think read magic's probably a little redundant because I already have sense magic, but maybe not. I think actually read magic, you need to read scrolls in these old games. Hold portal, shield, maybe. Probably not. Maybe read languages. Yeah, read magic is definitely for reading magic scrolls or magic runes, I think. Detect magic is the one that's redundant, because that's for... And we have sense magic as part of being a magic user. Yeah, so discern magic is sense magic. And then, do they have read magic in this? No. Reveal ritual magic, but I don't think that's it. No. So what's the equivalent of read magic, or do they just remove that because it's nonsensical? I think they removed it, really. I think you can just read scrolls if you're a mage. Okay, so that spell literally doesn't exist. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, read language would be maybe the only one, which I think we convert to discern gist. Discern the general meaning of any written script he touches, including ciphers, secret symbols, and other codes. Could be pretty handy going down into an ancient city. So maybe we'll spend... Yeah, fuck it, we'll do 1 week. We'll do 1 long rest. That gets everybody back to where we need to be. He can learn a few of these spells, write them down, carry the spell book with him. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we'll rent a room for a week. We need go back to this shit. We need 4 rooms now. We have 5 animals. So it's 8 times 4 plus 5 animals. That's 10. Plus a meal for each of us. That's 4 meals. 12. So that's our daily rate. 54 silver times 7. 378 silver I'm spending. So 38 gold. Yeah, alright. 112 minus 38. 74 I have here. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So we're going to rent our rooms. We'll dump off everything there, unload the mules and all that. Yeah, it's fine. And now we're going to go back the next day to pick up the rest of the shit. Can't imagine other things have already moved in that time frame. It seems really unlikely. So, the first 2 of these rolls are just on Civilized Road, 16 and 8. It's a civilized encounter. 91 on Grasslands. That's going to be just a pilgrim passing by. Yeah. Fine. And then the third one is just civilized. 18 is going to be a monster encounter. Oh, shit. Well, that changes it up. Okay, so we're in civilized. It's going to... Oh, God. It's an uncommon monster in a civilized farmland. Okay, uncommon. Haunts. What the fuck is a haunt? I imagine that's a nighttime kind of thing. It's a ghost. Maybe, but it seems kind of like a weird, unlikely one. I'm gonna re-roll that. 78 is a giant tick. Oh, God. Holy shit. Okay, so it's a 120-pound tick. Actually, it says it weighs between 125 to 380. Man-sized, blood-sucking arachnid. They're naturally stealthy. Okay. But it says they're found throughout forests and swamps. So I think this one maybe is a little far from home for some reason. Perhaps it's crazed or, you know, something happened to it. So I'm going to rule just to be... Well, it's really slow, though. 10 feet. But it's man-sized. We're in a grassland, like a farmland. And it looks like that. How stealthy could it possibly be? Like, if it was up in a tree or something, I'd understand. But I think this is just really, like... We just see this thing sort of waddling across the land. Usually you encounter them in groups of 3d4. Okay, well, yes, that's true. This didn't say one giant tick. This meant an encounter with giant ticks. There's technically 3d4 of them. This is a weird, wild encounter. I'm also going to reroll this. I need something a bit more normal to just sort of wrap my head around. 62 is going to be a large raptor. Griffin vulture. Okay. So this is like an eagle or, you know, like a large vulture. Not super big, like a 30-pound bird. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. They have 1+1 hit dice, 13 armor class. Pretty fast. They get 2 attacks, dealing 1d3 damage each. Their preferred attack is a dive attack with their talons that inflicts double damage, 2d3. Okay. They appear in groups of 1d6. We're going to roll it. 5 of them. Reaction roll. Middling. Okay. They might just circle then. We don't really have any easy pickings for them. And we don't... They're vultures. So we don't have any dead things on us. So they're just kind of circling, maybe hoping that we'll do something. But I don't think they're going to attack. Unless we attack them first, maybe. But then they might just fly away. And I've done this before where I had, like, birds just kind of circling above my players, you know, like that. And they really freaked out, especially because they had a halfling with them. And they just started bolting. And that caused the birds to become more interested. And they just followed. And I still never had the birds attack until they decided to start attacking the birds. And then it was like, all right, fuck it, it's on. I was never going to have them attack otherwise. You know, players are paranoid. Yeah, so I think they just follow 5 of these vultures. It's a bad omen, I suppose, but we march on. So that was the, fuck, what was that roll? I don't remember. Was that my 3rd roll? I think that was my 3rd roll. That was the one that was off-road. Pretty sure. Yeah. So we make it to the tower. So now we have to determine how much I can load up on this trip. And again, many players in the world, DM, you know, they would just hand wave this. But if you're playing this kind of game, you can't hand wave that kind of shit. You know, you gotta calculate, because otherwise it's another trip, and another trip could mean your death, or who knows what, or something else moves in. Hard to say. So we're pretty certain the food is the most valuable. So I think we're really just loading up the mules with rations, which I said was 44 slots. So that means 1 full mule, and then like most of a second mule is just food. The only other thing really, I mean, oil flasks, assuming it's common oil, it's not really valuable. It's 3 silver per. The torches, so it's 10, that would be 10 bundles of 6 each. That's like, what, a gold for each bundle. It's not really much. The rope, that's 4 bundles of 50 at 1 gold each. The lantern, I don't know if I wrote that down or not. I don't think I did. So we'll write down the lantern, which is 10. Spears are 3 each. And those are only, that's 4 to a slot, right? So I guess that's 30 gold that we can do. We can just grab all the spears. Coal I'm not so sure about. I don't have a value of coal. Probably that is mentioned somewhere in these books, as far as like arbitrage trading or something like that. Which does beg the question of, are we going to have to pay like a tariff or something bringing all these goods in? It's a lot of food. It's not a metal, right? You wouldn't count it as a metal. I don't know what you count it as, really. It's not a semi-precious stone. I don't know, what the fuck is coal? What is coal? What is it classified as? Is it a mineral? It's a sedimentary rock. Yeesh. Rock. We don't usually trade in rocks, but I imagine it's valuable, right? I mean, I guess coal has uses in a fantasy setting. I don't think coal is mentioned anywhere in this book by name. Coalition? No. Charcoal gray? Nope. Does imply they use charcoal, though. Ah, here. Clay, stone, coal, and metals. Well, it's just sort of lumped in with generic land revenue. So, hard to say then. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I guess we'd probably do it as common metal. It's the closest thing, so I don't really know. Although, price for that's pretty high. That's 2 gold per stone. That's 2 gold for every 10 pounds of coal, I'd say. Which would be kind of high, wouldn't it? Generic common merchandise has an average value of 1.1 gold pieces per stone. Okay, fine. We'll go with that. So how much does 200 pounds of coal weigh? Wait a minute. All right. I realize what I just said, all right? I realize what I said. It's 20 stone. So that's 20 stone. That's 20 slots, which is quite a lot. We'd be loading up the whole other mule with that. But that would be 20 times 1.1, which is 22. 22 gold is not much for filling up the whole other mule, but I don't know what I really else have. I mean, there's wood, but that's far worse value, so I guess this is our best bet. Unless I'm just misunderstanding this chart. But I think, no, I think you're just, yeah. This is just if you want to use a standard or generic merchandise for some purpose. I don't know what category coal falls under in here, so unless someone wants to enlighten me. I mean, it's technically wood, sort of. Or no, that's charcoal. No, so I don't know what stone falls under, other than just metal. So if we make it 2 gold pieces per stone, which is... Sure, let's just say that it is. No, I'll stick with the generic. So 22 gold for basically the full other mule. Fine. Okay, fine. So we're gonna just put 22. And then the food price, that was it's 3 gold per week, 44 times 3, 132. So we're putting that down. I still don't think that gets us a level, to be honest. Oh, fuck, never mind. Scrap all that. We need to get the alchemist shit. That's most of the value. That was 800 gold. That's the big ticket item. So that's 40 slots, which is, what was that? That's basically the food. So if we ditch the food, take the alchemy equipment, that's 800. So instead of 132 gold from the food, we take 800 from that. Okay. Let me try to think. So we took the lantern, we took the spears. We can also carry some stuff on our person. Not everything has to go on the mule. So that's 40. We have a total of 75 slots across the mules. 40 for the alchemy equipment. We're going to take the coal, although I don't think that's really worth it. That's a terrible value, so skip that. There's 10 spears, the lantern, whatever. It really comes down to how much food we can carry. There's 44 of that, so 75 minus 4 is 35, so I can take 35 weeks worth of food. So 35 times 3 gold then is 105. So that's it. That's our number. Is that enough? I sure hope so, because now we're going to head back. Loaded with booty. First roll is just civilized. That's no encounter. Yep. And then the other 2 civilized road. We did get a 20 and an 18, so we have 2 civilized encounters. Probably pretty basic ones. 74, 71 are both merchants we passed by. Makes perfect sense. All good. We're back in End Home. And we get our XP. And I will do the big tally again. Now, how much money we're going to get out of this is a whole other question. Because selling rations back to, on the market sounds pretty slim. We could just hold on to them, but it's a lot of rations. All right, 3,042 divided by 3 is 1,000. 1,014. That is a level, baby. We did it. 4,021. Barely leveled up thanks to ripping practically everything of value out of that tower. Okay, excellent. So let's determine our money. We'll start with the 6 alchemy books that Jimmy Dean wants and is not going to get because I want money. So that's 500 gold to a magic user alchemist. Yeah, I mean, again, that one. Yeah, I mean, everybody haggles, right? So we'll take 15% off that unless we object otherwise, which I don't. 425. Let's keep just a running total here of gold. 425 gold. Okay, that's for the alchemy books. They're gone. The 22 other books, that was valued at 7 each. So that's 22 times 7. 154 times 0.85. 130, we'll say. 130 gold for those books. The Scroll of Dimension Door we're going to hold on to. We're not going to sell that. The Barrel and the Garnet, that's 100, so that's 85 total for those. The various potions, I think we're probably going to hold on to. Those could be valuable. The little magic items. Not really. I mean, I suppose some of them do have some value, and I could hold on to them. I don't really need the money that desperately. Fine. The Alchemy Lab, that's 800. Times 85, 680 for selling all the alchemy equipment and everything from that. Then there's the other goodies. So there's the rations. That was what, 35? I think we said, yeah, 35 weeks worth of rations. We're not going to get a very good rate of these. We're going to go 50%. They're usable, they're edible, but people are always a little iffy on used, food from an unknown source like that. So we're not going to get more than 50%. But that's still pretty good. 35 times 3. Yeah, 105 times 0.5. 52.5. Fine. I'm not going to split hairs with silver. The lantern, we get, let's say 8 gold for that. And the 10 spears, that was 30 gold. I guess now equipment like that, weapons, armor is usually half, so 15 gold for that. Okay, that's our total earnings after dumping everything off. So that means that we are sitting... Plus 74, plus 392. We're sitting on a total of 1,861 gold. Which will load onto you for 4 slots. Okay. Get rid of that. All right. Pretty good amount of money. Next, we're going to take our long rest over the course of this nice week. Wait a minute. Fuck, we didn't level up, did we? Because of Bert. No, fuck it. Bert didn't do a single goddamn thing, so I didn't take him on that adventure at all. He did not participate. So, no, we hired Bert, but we said we'd pick him up after we go check out this tower for some reason. Thank God for me forgetting that he existed, because otherwise we wouldn't have leveled up. So he got nothing yet. Alright, let's level up. She's at 21 hit points. She has +4 to her attacks now. That's pretty solid. Very good, very good. She gets +1 to an attribute. Perception wouldn't be bad. Will wouldn't be bad. She does tend to be at the forefront, so I'm actually going to go with perception so she can notice more traps. She gets another flow and another flow ability. And I think we're going to go with... Let's see here. Shadow Coils isn't bad. Right now it'd be 3 rounds where I don't trigger ops and I get a +2 to the AC. It's not bad. Is it better than just doing spinning defense? Hard to say. Depends on how much I need to move around. Alternatively, Woven Mists could be good. Basically just have a very good chance of deflecting any non-magical ranged attack. Not bad. Ambidextrous, pretty much, yeah, she'd have to target and hit the same target with both of her weapons, and then she can make a third attack against a different target. But how often do I hit something and not kill it? And hit with both? I think that's another one. That's one that's going to be better later on, but hard to say. Preemptive Strike. Pretty much, she has a chance when she would be surprised to just take a turn before the surprise. There's definitely some solid options here. And again, Windmill would be an easy way to add 1d6 damage in almost every case. Because we tend to be in a lot of dungeons. So, fuck it. I'm going to take Windmill. On hit, move target up to 10 feet. And if collision... I use a lot of commas. Now, I probably should specify what happens if it collides with another creature. Because if I have them both take 1d6, then it's a little overpowered. So really, I'm just counting other creatures as an object, I think. It won't do any damage to any other target. Maybe that's not sensible. Well, that's what we're doing. And then she also is going to, of course, get her unique feature. And we'll talk about that in a second. Porridge. 19 hit points. He is going to go up to 13 strength. Finally, a +1 mod. So he has +2 to his attack, +3 total. He gets a tier 2 spell now, I believe. He does, yes. Huzzah. Divine spellcasting, tier 2. Okay. He also gets another use of turning, which someday we'll use. Okay. Right. Let's determine a tier 2 spell, shall we? We've gone over this before. Beguile Humanoid is good. Cure Moderate Injury could be alright. Halt Humanoids. Very strong. Holy Blessing, strong. I looked over all these. We could also give him Slumber. Let me see here. What does Shimmer do again? +2 AC and saving throws for an hour. But only on Porridge. But still, that's really quite good. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. But Holy Blessing. +1 to attack throws, AC, morale rolls, and saving throw against fear for an hour. And that's our whole group. Up to 30 allies and him. So, I don't know why I'd really go for that other one over Holy Blessing. I think that's the best. It's really a fucking good spell. So, yeah, fuck it. We're taking Holy Blessing. It's too good. Six turns. +1 to attack, AC, morale, and luck versus fear. Yeah, and obviously we have to cast that ahead of time, but that's perfectly acceptable. What is the range on that? 15 feet. You gotta get pretty close to Porridge. Excellent. And I'm gonna put that that's a tier 2. Okay, and I think he's good. I think that's it. Usually you just get your unique feature. Yeah, it's mostly what you get. Okay, and then Nathun. For his +1, it's gonna go to Int. Yeah, I think Int gives him the best odds of getting a great success, which is very important. Okay, and then he gets his tier 2. And we're spending a week, so you can actually now copy some of these tier 2s down that we might be interested in. Invisibility, Webbing, Knock, or Wizard Lock. Of those 4, for him specifically, I'd probably say Webbing is the best. Knock could be good, but Parthona's really good with traps and locks, so I'm not overly inclined. He's got 7 days now to copy stuff, so we'll copy Invisibility, Web. That's 4. Shield, that's 5. Read Language, that's 6. And Hold Portal, that's 7. That's what he's all going to copy into his book. Which is just going to take some time for me to add all this shit. It's a lot of spells he gets. Let's see. I'm just going to write Shield. We'll fill it in later. Shield, Hold Portal. You never know. Read Language. Actually, that's not even what they're called. It's called Discern Gist in Axe. This is called, I think, Arcane Armor. Old portal. That's a good question, isn't it? Seal portal. Okay, well that's easy. Seal portal. So that was 3, and now the tier 2s. Webbing. And invisibility. Okay, I can fill all that in later. Good. He's got his new spells. That's all correct. That's all correct. He doesn't really get anything else. What else would he possibly get? So I think we're good on that. And then it's the unique features. All right. I mean, multi-classing is... It's got some potential if you have the stats. I think if you don't have a 2 in what you want to multi-class into, though, it's probably not worth too much of your time. I mean, Nathun could multi-class into, like, Artificer, I suppose. To get the gun, because his perception's not terrible. But his attack bonus isn't that great, so it's hard to say. I guess it's okay. It's better than you'd think it would be, I suppose. Yeah, it's actually as good as an Artificer. Yeah. So he'd basically just he'd get one invention. So if he picked the gun, he would just have the gun. And he'd always have the gun. And the gun's pretty insane. It's very loud, though. And if you're in a dungeon, it's always going to be a random encounter check every time you use it. But it's 4d4 damage, and the dice explode. So any 4s you roll, you get to roll another d4. I've had a player with it, and yeah, it's gotten some obscene dice rolls. I mean, it's done like 25 damage at one, like it was ridiculous. So it's possible of just blowing the head off of God if you roll well enough. But it's loud, and if you roll a 1, the thing malfunctions and you have to repair it. Usually it's just like... I mean, there's always the possibility of unique features that are just like special abilities. You know, like my aunt, when she plays, she always likes taking a unique feature that lets her teleport the whole group. So basically, I say once per long rest, she can use that ability. She can teleport the whole group as long as they're touching her. And you can travel up to a mile to a location you've seen before. And she's really happy with that. She picks it every time because it's saved their life like multiple times. And it's not really that overpowered. It's basically just like a magical retreat sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, there's always possibilities like that if I wanted to pick something special. And you can pick anything. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you want to pick an ability that drops, like, a meteor that destroys, like, an entire town or something, like, you can pick that. You're going to be able to use it pretty much just once, really. Like, I'd probably set it, like, once per year, maybe. And even then, that's a little iffy. But, I mean, anything, you can pick anything. And the GM just balances it out as far as, like, how often you can use it. That's what I tell them. Like, the more powerful an ability, the less you'll be able to use it. And if you want to put self-limitations or something on it, then that might help you be able to use it more often, you know, depending on how limiting they are. But usually it's just kind of more sensible to take what you're already doing with your character and your class and just kind of do it better. That's why I often just take, like, bump up a damage die for your main weapon, or your dice explode, or you get extra spell slots, or things like that. I could see, like, Nathun picking... Well, honestly, yeah. I mean, like I said, like, I could see Nathun just taking more spell slots. I could see Porridge taking more spell slots. And I could see Tarthona just taking, like, bumping up the damage dice on short swords to D8. Yeah, I mean, really, that's, like, if I don't want to think about it too much... I've never played in a campaign, like, with a DM of Tales of Argosa. I think if I did, I would really never pick anything like that. It would always be something very unique and interesting and, like, powerful that I could use very, pretty uncommonly. But when I do use it, it's gonna fucking make a difference. But for just playing solo here, it's just like, I lean more towards just mechanical stuff I don't have to think about too much. That's sort of where I'm at. So yeah, I don't think there's any guideline in this book for just getting more spell slots or gaining any uses specifically. Like, I don't think there's any example that just gives you more uses of your class ability. So I'm never quite sure how well to balance it. Lego has picked it, I think, multiple times when he's used a cleric or a paladin. Or cleric, I think he used a cleric. No, paladin. Yeah, he's done it with paladin as well. And I think I've really just given him, like, one more use. But that doesn't seem... I mean, it's kind of powerful, but it's just slightly ahead of the curve of leveling up. So... But it's pretty good. It's on par somewhat with just increasing your weapon damage die. Like, on average, that increases your damage by 1. That's it. So having one extra spell slot of, like, tier 1, I think that's pretty similar. So I suppose I lean towards that, because otherwise, we won't get another tier 1 spell slot until level 7. So I guess it's not... that's more than slightly ahead of the curve then. So I think that is balanced. So we'll do that. Just to be simple. So he's going to go up to 3 on tier 1. He's going to go up to 3 on tier 1. And she's going to increase these to D8. And I'm going to write down their unique features. Short sword mastery. I don't know what I called it last time. Da, 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 da. I know. I'm not very creative or original with these unique features. 1d8 plus 3. Fairly vicious, though, on these. Yeah, it doesn't give you an extra spell or anything like that. It's just a spell slot. So there you go. Done. Unique features are done. Okay, and the week went by. We did our... well, no, we haven't purchased anything, so we probably should do that now. 1,800 gold. We're probably looking at masterwork shit. But... what else do I need master? Oh, he needs a masterwork shield. Okay, we're buying that, so that's 660. So that brings him down to 201. 1201, yeah. Alright, and then that's a +1 shield. No, it's a masterwork shield, sorry. But it is a +1. Okay. Then the only other thing, I suppose, would be giving Bert a masterwork spear, which is not a bad idea. Assuming we're actually going to use them. Or giving Nathun a masterwork crossbow, which also not a bad idea. He does shoot it relatively often. Maybe I should do both of those things. No, I can't do both of those things. Do I trust Bert or do I trust Nathun? Honestly, I think Bert's going to be pretty vicious if he actually gets into combat with that thing. So, fuck it. We'll give him a Masterwork Spear. That's 1201 minus 653. 548 gold left. Down to 1 slot. Okay. Good. We also have a third mule, which I'm gonna name Buell. All right. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff I could buy. And there's so many bookkeeping things you could do. Because it's like, you never know. I mean, you never know when you might need this thing. So you could just load up your mules with all sorts of crap. The only problem really is that I have now 3 mules, which is going to hurt our dice roll for seeing if the mules get into an encounter. So, ergo, we could hire a few guards, like level 0 guards, just to stand watch over our mules when we go into a dungeon. Which doesn't... I don't think that actually helps with the roll of if we have a random encounter. Like, I actually would probably make it worse slightly because there's more bodies, you know, milling about. It's like more obvious that there's something there. But guards could prevent a lot of encounters from even occurring, as far as like wild, you know, rats or something. They might not go near the cart there, or the mules, because there's guards there, or, you know, a couple bandits or something like that. Or if they do get into an encounter, then, you know, they can fight. But they're going to be level 0 because I'm not going to pay that much. Sure, let's do that. So we're going to hire just some level 0 jabronis. So we're going to spend a week doing this in class 3. So it's another 1d8 plus 5 gold I got to spend. 10 gold. It's fine. We're just gonna spend 1 week and whatever we can find. That's what it is. But 0 level, there's 4d8. I mean, there's no shortage of them. 16, so there's half. There's 8 of that available in the first week. These guys are gonna be paid 12 gold per month, and they're just gonna be little assholes. Hopefully, I never need to really figure out what their stats are or anything. I think with 8, I guess I can roll 2d6 8 times, and as long as we get like a 9 or to 11, we get +1. So really, we just need an 8 or higher on 2 of them, or 3 of them. Let's say 3 of them. So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 3 of them. So 3 of them accepted. That's fine. I'm not going to offer any signing bonuses. So 3 of them accepted. I do have to outfit them. We're going to give them pretty basic spears, leather armor, shields. I'm not going to spend an overwhelming amount. So leather armor's 20 each, so that's 60. The shield, so that's 90. And then the spears are 3. Yes. So 99 gold. Well, a little bit more than that, because I also have to buy... I have to buy food for them. That is true. We have to feed them and bedrolls. So, the bedrolls, that's 3. So 102. And then the food. Again, we'll just buy them a week of food for now. So it's 3 weeks of iron rations. That's 9 gold. So it's 111 total. Okay. And then Buell can just hold their 3 bedrolls and their 21 iron rations. All right. We're set. Again, I hope that they never have to do anything. and I can just pay them their money at the end of the month, of which we're not really tracking. If this were a normal campaign, I would have a calendar and everything, but we just want to check out the Lost City a little bit more. All right, so the end of the week, it's all good. We're gonna keep going now. Let's do it. So going back to the map now. Trader's Way, we're going to consider to be a civilized road up until this intersection, and then from here on, it's just going to be Borderlands Road. But again, we get to... Oh, we also have to buy them fucking horses. Yeah, we do. Alright, 3 more horses. That's 120 gold. Fucking hell. 307. Fine. So that's 8 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8. So 7 of the rolls will be on Civilized Borderlands. Civilized Road, I mean. And then the last one will just be Borderlands Road. That's all correct. Let's roll. And we have a little convoy with us now, like this, except not quite. But we're all kind of just armed men and a woman. Right, so 7 rolls. Basically, yeah, 70-20. Alright, so anything that's 2 to 11 is nothing. So that's 3 of them. We have 4 that are going to be civilized encounters. That's 4d100. Let's see. We got patrollers. That's fine. They're not too concerned. A herd of animals. Of sheep. That's fine. 72 is a merchant. Yep. And then 29 is bandits. Okay. Well, that is an encounter, isn't it? Perhaps. I mean, let's play out the situation. So we're going to go to men. We're going to go to bandits. Wilderness is going to be 1d6 gangs, which is 1d6. That's a lot of bandits. Okay. So that's 2d6 bandits. 7 of them. Okay. Now there's 7 of us. So that would be pretty confident of them. Especially because, like, you know, we're all bearing weapons for the most part. And we're on horseback. So we don't look like merchants, to say the least. We look like adventurers. So that's going to be pretty iffy. We're going to roll 2d6 for the reaction roll plus 1. Middling. Okay, so I think they're a little hesitant. Now, if it had just been the 3 of us, they would have attacked. Like 100%. So there is safety in numbers when traveling, for sure. 100%. But I could have easily rolled like a lot more than that. I could have rolled 4d6, which would have been like 14, and then they probably would have attacked as well. But in this case, it's a low roll. It's a small group of bandits hoping to pick off an easy target, and we do not look like easy targets. So I think they're gonna watch us go by in this case. We got lucky on that one. I said earlier that you really never want there to be a rolled encounter where nothing happens. So I could give the group a perception check to see if they notice the bandits watching them from the woods, which could spice things up, because players, like I said, are often paranoid and they often jump the gun, and they assume that if they spotted them, that means they're going to do something. So I suppose if I was DMing, yes, I probably would give them a roll. In our case, though, like I said, I just want to get back to the dungeon, so we'll just let them slide by. Right. That was the only encounter of note, I think. 29, yeah, okay, that was the last one. Then the 8th, the last one of the day, is the one that was the civilized or Borderlands plus Road. 13, and that's going to be another civilized encounter. 71, another merchant. God be with you and all that shit. And that's the end of the day. So we're camping out here for the night. we will have another encounter, I believe. We're in the Borderlands. It says once every 3 nights, but I'll lean towards this being a bit more of a dangerous territory. So it's fine. But we are along the road. So we do have to consume rations for the night. The 3 nameless guys eat their rations off of Buell. And the rest of us will eat off of Gunther. We can forage, though. She can forage. Great success. All right, we only have to consume 2. That's 38 then. Excellent. Nighttime encounter is going to be a 4, which is a nothing encounter. Good, good. Good, good, good. Next day. What's the map looking like here? We made it to, like, here, right? So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Give or take. About 3 hours. Okay. 3 rolls then. And we are going to be still on Borderlands Road. 1, 2, 3. One of them's a 20, a valuable terrain encounter. We can probably just ignore that, because it's just going to... I mean, normally that would be very good. The civilized encounter is a 17, which is just a herd of sheep. Alright, we'll roll the fucking valuable terrain just so we can see it, but... 11, it's a vista. So we get a beautiful vista. We look out upon the hills for the first time and we're like, wow, this is amazing. And this is suitable for construction of an elven fastness. If an army occupies the vista, it gains +1 bonus on reconnaissance roll. If the army fights a battle while defending the vista, each commander in the army gains a bonus of 1d3 points to their strategic ability. Yeah, it's one of those things if I was DMing, I'd probably re-roll, because it, A, doesn't really make sense along this road, and B, isn't really useful for my group, at the very least. If I did re-roll, we'd get a cash. Now that's nuts. We've had that happen before. Where was that roll? Oh, here. So we'd roll on treasure type K. Because we're in the grasslands. So we'd roll this table. Averaging 5,000 gold. Just that we come across, luckily, while just wandering the area. I mean, it certainly pays to explore, I guess, because this could happen. It's a slim odds. You have to roll a 5% to get the valuable terrain, and then a 1 in 12 to get the cash, but it's happened before on these solo videos, and it's happened here, I guess. So, I mean, you could get nothing out. 30% chance for Electrum. Okay, you do. You get 1d4,000 Electrum. 1,000 Electrum, that's 5,000 silver. Which is 500 gold. I mean, that's already pretty good. 25% chance for gold. Nope. 25% chance for brilliant gems. Nope. 50% chance for jewelry. Nope. And 40% chance for a magic item. No. So really you just found 1,000 Electrum. Honestly, it's not that crazy, but it is No, it's 1,000 coins. It's not 5,000, but it's worth 5,000 silver. It's a pretty decent little thing if I wanted to note it down, but I'm not going to. We'll skip over. It's fine. All right, we arrive back at the upper caverns. And we basically have to just navigate our way back to that spot, the little orc graveyard here, the sarcophagi, so we can go down. It has been some time, and I think it wouldn't be unreasonable if I was DMing this properly to restock some of these rooms. There very well could be something that moves into this 1-5 area. I don't know what it would be exactly. I mean, you could roll on this little table to see if you get one of these. So maybe more orcs move in, maybe goblins move in, maybe a nest of giant rats. I think that's honestly fairly reasonable. So I guess if I was going to do it that way, I think specifically this room though, Not really any of the other, like, yeah, basically just this room. So let me just see. 88. A giant spider moves in there. 4-foot diameter giant spider. It's terrible. Yeah, no, that's pretty nasty. 2 hit dice plus 2, 11. So should have around 11 hit points, but they're saying 7. Low roll on that one. 13 AC, 1d6 damage plus lethal poison. Yeah, I mean, it's a giant crab spider, I suppose. Which means that it doesn't spin a web. So we wouldn't really have any clue that something else is living in there now. We're going to light up the lantern, which is going to use up one of his flasks. Puts 24 on the clock, though. All right. We are stomping through now with, well, 4 of us. The 3 guys are outside. We found a reasonably good hiding place. I guess the same hiding place, really. And, right. So Bert, yeah, I mean, like I said, Bert doesn't roll for like a group stealth check or anything like that, but he does contribute to the narrative. He's there. You can't just deny his existence. But yeah, if it was just one companion like this, I really wouldn't influence too much. We're already not a very stealthy group, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But if I had like 3 or 4 companions going in with me, it's like, okay, you're never sneaking up on anything as long as you're a group. In this case, I would say it's not a matter of sneaking up, it's a matter of noticing this thing before it pounces on one of us. So this is going to be a group perception check, and he's pretty stealthy. The module says... "5 in 6 to surprise." That's damn stealthy. But I know you never know in sort of if it's in position to be stealthy or anything like that. So, or what it's doing currently. So I'm gonna roll rather than picking a number. We'll give it a high number though to roll against. We're gonna give it a 16. All right, he succeeded by 4, so it's group perception. We gotta succeed by 4 or more. Terrible failure from Nathun. Terrible failure from Porridge. Doesn't matter then. I don't want to burn a reroll. Although Porridge is designed to use rerolls, but his perception's so bad. Even though he gets a +2. So technically he'd be rolling against 11. It's okay. 55% or 50% chance of success. He does have 3 rerolls. It would be nice not to get ambushed. I'm gonna see what Tarthona rolls first. She succeeded. Alright, fine. He'll use a reroll. Damn it. Alright, it is what it is. So we don't notice it, and it's going to pick one of us to ambush. It's arbitrary, it's not that smart, so it's going to pick Nathun. Very unfortunate for me. It's going to pounce out then. It's got 2 hit dice, so +2 to the roll with advantage. Crit, of course. Why wouldn't it be? So he takes 6 damage, and he's going to roll against the poison. Lakan, with a +1 to save, according to the stats here. I know, usually we follow axe rules, but I'll listen to it. This is an oracle roll, and that's it. Failure. Well, if he doesn't reroll, he's dead, probably. So, yeah, we're gonna... There we go. All right, he shrugs the poison off. He thinks about dying. He's like, I think this is going to kill me. And then he's like, nah. I got more work to do. That's still pretty painful, though. He lost a reroll and 6 hit points. But let's get to initiative. Excellent. All right, Tarthona moving in with the short swords. Let's make it happen, baby. Adjust that. All right. Yeah. So she gets +1 to the roll. That's everything. Oh, that is very much a hit. According to the thing, he has 7 hit points, but I'll stick with the averages because I've been doing that for everything else. So he has 11 hit points. 4 left. She'll follow up with the offhand. Again, -3. Yep. That's a miss. Porridge coming in with the flail. He gets +1, +2. We outnumber him 2-1. Actually, technically, he's on Nathun. So we outnumber him 3-1. Yeah, fuck it. That is a hit and a kill. Job done. Significant combat? I'd hesitate to say so. I know he almost died, but the actual combat itself, once initiative happened, no damage was done from the creature, and it only lasted like half a round. So, no, not a significant combat. Sorry, Nathun. We do get XP for that. For a giant spider. 29. And that, you know, it keeps players on their toes. If rooms that they thought where they can just move through suddenly have new things in them. Do we want to go down that ledge? Yes. Unfortunately, we do. We want to retrace our steps exactly. We don't know what's down this way, and we don't know that it connects here because we didn't go that way. So we're going to risk going this way again. Unless traps have been moved, which they could. I think we'll abide. It's been a long enough time. The kobolds don't really, you know, they're not accounting for us really. They may have they probably reset this trap and, you know, reset this trap and probably put this back where it was. But I think maybe they just assume we died somewhere, so whatever. All right, so we gotta use the rope, climb down, blah, 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 move that out of the way, move this way, step out of the way of this thing again, move this way. There is this section here where the kobolds could see us because that's their living area. But I think they're not on any sort of high alert, so we're just gonna slip on by quietly. I won't require a roll. Again, mostly I want to get back to the dungeon. And we come along this way, we go down this way, slip past this way where the ratlings would be, and we descend downwards. That all told will probably take about 20 minutes total. Alright, down to level 2 again. The Hall of the Mausoleums. We searched this place already. We killed the ghast here already. So we get to finally move on to more parts of the city of Barakus. Alright, so there's a door to the mausoleum. As unlikely as it is, I suppose we'll take a listen at it just in case. Terrible failure. She hears nothing. So we're just going to open the doors like Aragorn and strut into the Hall of Mirrors. Spaced every 10 feet along this long 20-foot wide corridor are 2 facing panes of highly polished metal plates. The polish is good enough to give off a dull, if somewhat warped reflection. Ooh, how very ominous. There are 3 secret doors, each located behind the mirrors. The doors and their adjoining passageways are the same dimension as the mirrors and start 2 feet off the ground. The door is 2 feet off the ground? Okay. So I feel like we'd have to specifically declare that we're searching this room, which would take a while. It's 20 feet wide by, like, I don't know, 100 feet long, and it's got mirrors all along it, then we'd have to look along. I'd probably say it's a 20-minute thing, especially finding all the secret doors and stuff. What's the encounter rate here? 25% chance every hour. Damn, that's crazy. Okay. We search every room, so fuck it, we're declaring it. 20 minutes go by as we search this whole room top to bottom and find those 3 secret doors. Good, I suppose. And we'll go through the first one. I guess we'll listen at it. I assume we don't hear anything. Seems unlikely. Oh, she fails, so we shouldn't hear anything. So we're going to go through the secret little narrow passageway to 218. The glass, similar to 216. The narrow, wait a minute. Okay, so 216 is this other room. So the narrow crawl space opens up into a low chamber, 3 feet high. Halfling-sized creatures may move about normally here, but man-sized creatures must crouch or crawl in this space, incurring a -2 penalty to attack rolls. In the center of the floor is a 2-foot wide, 7-foot long pane of very thick glass, beneath which can be seen the preserved body of a man in purple robes holding a bejeweled longsword across his chest. With a successful secret door check, a character may notice a fine mist swirling about the body. The only way to access this unusual sarcophagus is to shatter the glass, which is extremely thick and resilient. 30 HP. Once broken, however, the noxious gas surrounding the body is released, affecting everyone in the chamber with a quick death upon saving throw failure. However, if the mist is noticed and cover precautions are taken, a save bonus of +2 is allowed. Oh boy. And the bejeweled sword is a +1 longsword with 900 gold pieces of gems in its pommel. Jesus. Now that was 216. We went into 18. It's similar, except the glass has already been shattered and the remains plundered. There is, however, a secret compartment in the interior of the sarcophagus. The compartment is trapped with a blindness gas that lasts a day upon a failed save. Inside is a brass heart about 10 inches from top to bottom. This is the Heart of Darkness. See Area I-5 in the Wilderness chapter. Holy shit, that's really, that's really unlikely. But I would search the room, so we have to go through the motions here. So I would spend this small amount of time to search the room, which I'm going to grant now a... we find the thing automatically, and because we're being thorough, I'm just already going to allow Tarthona a traps and locks check. No, we don't need to do that. Great success. Okay, so she can tell that it's trapped, and because she got a great success, we'll include her disarm as part of it. So she disarms it, and she pops it open, and she finds the Heart of Darkness. I guess I'll take a look at I-5 just to see what it does. So it's a cave. There are 3 niches in the wall, blah, blah, blah. If the Heart of Darkness is returned to the middle pedestal unblessed, the cave becomes a kind of chaotic focal point. All lawful characters present must immediately succeed at a save or become chaotic. Oh my god. What's more, if a character's alignment remains intact, all clerical spells are automatically wiped from their memory as if they had been cast. Though once the cave is left, they may be prayed for normally the following day. All undead in this or any adjoining cave are turned at the next higher level and receive a +1 to hit and damage bonus, while all lawful characters receive a -2 penalty to all saves while in the cave. Finally, chaotic clerics who pray for spells in this chamber receive an additional spell per level for that day. Wow. But if you have the heart blessed by taking it to a lawful temple, having a blessed spell cast on it, and then prayed over for 24 hours by no less than 3 clerics with a total of 10 levels, the heart becomes a heart of light. All the chaotic effects of the cave are neutralized. Party shares a 500 XP bonus. That's a lot of fucking work. And guesswork. No, I mean, in our game, it wouldn't be guesswork. Because we would have someone roll... I think probably most people's assumption would be arcane lore. So I don't know if I would just say, well, it's probably going to be divine lore. Maybe the cleric just recognizes this as like more of a divine artifact. So they'd roll divine lore. Let's just say we did. Great success. Okay, so Porridge kind of learns a lot about what this thing is. He can tell that this is kind of a chaotic artifact. It is like a focal point of chaos. So it would have to be blessed rigorously at a lawful temple in order to cleanse the thing. But beyond that of like where to take it, I don't know how you'd ever like know that. Because where is I? Okay. Clearly, this script is throwing me off. Is this I or is this T? Is there a T? There is a T, the black unicorn. I don't know where that is. I can't see it. What the fuck? Where is T? If that must be T, so where's I? Okay, I mean, I must be losing my mind, or I'm really just, like, losing my sight, because I don't see an eye anywhere. That can't be I. It's not. It's got a big line. It's not an eye. So I don't see an eye on this map. Is it a typo? Does it not exist? Am I meant to just place it wherever I feel like it? It's not on this map. I challenge anyone to find it. Well, I guess that makes it easy then. If this cave can be anywhere. Then I guess you could, you know, Porridge could maybe do some research in the library about the heart. And then maybe learn a little bit of this lore, and it might have like a vague location of the cave. Which, you know, would lead you in like a general area. Like, I don't know, somewhere in here or something, like west of the river, south of the forest kind of thing. That's a pretty big, you know, it's a pretty big area to search. It depends on how much he cares, I guess. This wild goose chase out in the wilderness. Anyways. So we found the Heart of Darkness. I don't know. We'll throw it on a mule and whatever. That was 218. So next we're going to go to this one, 217. This crawl space winds east and eventually ends at an impassable cave-in. Those traveling through it suffer the same penalty described in Area 216. What's more, fighting with one-handed weapons incurs an additional -2 penalty to all attack rolls, and two-handed weapons cannot be used at all. There are 3 small openings in the ceiling of this passageway. Unless the players specifically state they are examining the ceiling, these openings are unnoticed. The openings lead to the lair of 4 giant centipedes. The small cave above the passage is only 2 feet high and quite impossible for man-sized characters to fight in. If possible, the centipedes wait until their prey until the party fills the passage beneath before dropping down from all 4 holes simultaneously. If only one character investigates the passage, then the centipedes gladly gang up on him. If anyone attempts to investigate the openings, the centipedes attack immediately. So yeah, unless they specifically state they're examining the ceiling. That sort of sentence is just insanity to me, right? Because I just am terrified of the implication of that sentence. That there are groups out there that are like, hey, I'm looking at the ceiling. Now I'm looking at the floor. Now I'm looking at the walls. Hey, I'm looking at the ceiling now. And like every room you go in is like, hey, I'm looking at the ceiling. Are you aware that I'm looking at the ceiling, please? It's just insanity. This is why I like Tales of Argosa, is why I like perception checks. And I know it's very modern and stuff, but it's just like saves so much time and effort of just assuming that our characters have a basic level of competency. Not necessarily good enough to notice stuff. You know, that's what the role is for. But it just saves that effort of like, hey, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. I'm going to look at this. And so just like, fuck it, man. Save some time, do some dice rolls, and just have fun with your life. Please. Alright. Well, let's do a group perception check. Crit from Nathun. That's pretty good. Failure from Porridge. Great success from Tarthona. Okay. So we do notice these openings. Which means basically that we're not going to get surprised by the centipedes. So we just kind of hear them skittering right before they drop down on top of us. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is not... I mean, these things are save or die little giant centipedes. That's pretty nasty. So it's -2 penalty to all attack rolls. -4 if you're using a one-handed weapon. And two-handed weapons can't be used. So it's really just -4 to all attack rolls. Thankfully, they only have 10 AC, so it's not devastating. But yeah, we need to win initiative and just slaughter these little things. So let's do it. Tarthona doesn't fail. There you go. Alright, well, she's going to swing. So this is going to be -3. That is a hit, so she kills one of them right away. And then when the sword flashes out, she's going to swing the offhand, but it's pretty unlikely. It's -7. Woo! Damn, dude. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So she killed 2. No problem. There's 2 left. Forage swinging that flail and smashing against the walls. He gets -4. No, -3. Fumble. All right, it is going to bite him and is flailing. It gets +0 to the roll, of course. That is a miss, but that's all he's got. Nathun is going to swing his staff. Again, -4 on this one. That is a hit and a kill, though. And lastly, Bert, finally earning his keep. He's got to use this one-handed, unfortunately. So I'm just going to roll for him. He gets plus... Okay, so yes, he gets +2, -4. So he's at -2 on this roll. He crit. Okay, well, the last one's dead. So he slips his spear right between Nathun's legs and kills the last centipede before it bites him in the dick. Done! Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Now, the problem is that... the small cave above the passage is only 2 feet high. But I assume we can just kind of stick our... It says it's quite impossible for a man-sized character to fight him, but we can kind of stick our heads up into one of these holes and look around. It's going to be time-consuming. It's very cramped. The others are probably going to back out, so it'll be another 10 minutes as Tarthona digs around up there. But she finds a gem pouch containing 50 gold pieces of silver nuggets. Very fine. Very good. Gem pouch. 50 gold pieces of silver nuggets, of course. Alright. Good. And I will write down... they were giant centipedes. They were pretty small. So I think it's... less than 1 hit dice. 6 times 4, 24. So 24 plus 50. Okay. And then we go to the last one. 216 here. And we're going to crawl down that way, and that ends up in this one we read that has the preserved body and purple robes, the bejeweled longsword across his chest, and we can recognize immediately that it's valuable. You know, even if we don't know it's magical yet, we can see 900 gold pieces of gems in that pommel. We'll give a group perception check to see if we notice the swirling mist. Great success. That's always a good start. Porridge failed terribly. And Tarthona failed. Ooh, that could be pretty bad. Do we want to re-roll? Yes. Got it. Alright, so we do notice this fine mist swirling about the body, which does not look good. It's extremely thick and resilient. We're going to have Porridge stay here, because he's got the nice flail to break it. Everyone else is going to back the fuck out of this crypt. And he's going to, like, tie a cloth around his mouth and nose and stuff. And then he's just going to start wailing on this thing. It is pretty loud, so I am actually going to roll for a random encounter check as we spend the 10 minutes. We did roll a 1. Okay, this is going to be interesting because he's now in there. The others are waiting outside as this random encounter rolls. It might be nothing. Chance is nothing. We're in the northern half. So that's 2-1 through 248. We're just rolling a D100 here. 84 is not nothing. It's a giant bat. Doesn't make any sense in this hallway. Reroll. 89. That makes more sense. 1d2 bugbears. 2 bugbears. Reaction roll +1. Pretty negative. They're interested in killing. They are quite stealthy as well. We're in a hall of mirrors, but I think we're sort of preoccupied listening to Porridge smashing away in there and seeing if he's alright. So I think there's a chance they sneak up on us. They're fairly sneaky from what I recall. Like I said. -2 penalty to surprise rolls. So we're going to give them a 14 for their stealth roll. They crit failed. Alright. So it was just kind of a hopeless call. They're in a hall of mirrors. They tried to sneak up on us, but we saw their reflection in one of the mirrors. So no go. But it's still pretty dangerous. These things are 3 hit dice +1. So that's going to be about 14 hit points with 14 AC. +3 with, yeah, like a... Yeah, they have spears. Stuff like that, so D6 +1 damage. Pretty nasty, and we don't have Porridge with us. But we do have Bert, so he'll be put to work. Great success, we're gonna go immediately. Does an Athun want to blow a spell? Probably. Slumber is quite advantageous here. They're together, they're sneaking up on us. Fuck it, he's gonna throw a Slumber out. Good. Alright, so they have to roll Luck Will. They have 3 hit dice. We'll just examine real quick. So 3 hit dice is going to be a 6 base. And I'm going to go ahead and look. I don't think they have bugbears in here. So fuck it, I'll give them plus... let's just... We'll go with whatever 5e says for their wisdom. +0. Alright, so they need to roll 6s or under. First one, second one. They're both down. We go over and we execute him. Combat over. It's not a significant fight, so we lost that use of Slumber, but hey, it's better than them sneaking up and ambushing us with spears. Yeah, Sleep is a really fucking good spell, and I highly recommend it if you ever play D&D. Alright, Porridge finally smashes the thing open, and the gas pours out. So he's now got to roll Luck Constitution with +2. This is going to be a trap, so he is going to lose luck if he succeeds. He got it. So he loses the luck, but no problem. He can handle the gas just fine. Loves it. Breathes it in deep. And he gets that longsword. And that is pretty fucking valuable. That's 660 plus 900 as far as XP. So that's 1560 XP just for that one item. L to the yeah. Also, we killed the 2 bugbears, which are worth 65 each. So that's another 130. Yes, that's all well and good. Do we want to use the longsword? We could give it to Bert. It is a +1 longsword, but we did buy him... I did buy him a Masterwork Spear, right? I didn't hallucinate that. I definitely bought him that. Yes. or did I get a masterwork crossbow? Now I don't remember. Shit. Why didn't I do that at the time? I must have gotten distracted. Oh no, I got the shield, didn't I? Right, I got the shield. Okay, we could give Bert the +1 longsword. If we give it to him, we can't sell it for more XP later. But I think we're probably just going to rip the gems out of the pommel, and he can just keep using a +1 longsword. So fuck it, he's getting the +1 longsword. So that's 1d6, 1d8. He's two-handing it. Blah, blah, blah. Melee, steel. It's going to be 1d8 +1. That's all good. That's all good. Done. All right. Hell yeah. I mean, that's a lot of XP. We have to get to 8,000 to get to level 4. I don't think that'll happen. I think I'll probably finish this adventure, like, you know, I'll be done with this adventure before we get to that. But yeah, but pretty good. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the video here, and I think we might just do like one more video of this. I know we finally made it to the Lost City, but this has been going on for quite a while, and I'd like to have a conclusion before I just like leave it hanging. So I feel like one more video, we'll be able to get a decent chunk through the Lost City. We'll probably die if I know how things go. But yeah, we should be able to get through at least another, I don't know, 10, 12 rooms or so. So we'll be able to experience, at that point, you know, a decent amount of the writing of this module. But yeah, it's a pretty hefty one. This is definitely like a mini campaign for sure. Because you could play in this campaign for a decent number of sessions before ever even finding the Lost City of Barakus. So it's pretty significant. But for now, my name is Mang. This has been Solo Roll Manging. And I'll see you fine folks in the next part.